Happy Friday. Diana Gintu here. I'm going to give you guys a couple of seconds or maybe a minute or so to kind of jump in here. If you're new to my page, I come in here every Friday at 9:30-ish. Typically 9:30. Sorry, I'm a little late today. But I come in here and I just give you a tip of the week, something to add to your toolbox. So we're going to get started in a second here. I'm going to wait, see if anybody is joining us. Oh, hey, Pat, how's it going? Good morning. This is the first time I've spoken this morning, so I'm kind of preparing my voice. Hope everyone is doing well. So I'm going to get started just so that we can be mindful of everybody's time. If you join us during the tip, you can always go and watch the replay. And I always like to say this as a reminder, if you have any questions that are coming up for you while I'm doing the tip of the week, be sure to put them in the comments. I will definitely address them, or I can always come back after the live and give you my feedback, okay? So good morning. Again, my name is Diana Gintu, and I am a self-care expert. I come here every Friday to give you a tip of the week, hopefully adding to that toolbox, okay? So today I'm super excited because we're going to be having a conversation that I trust you will benefit from it, because I talk to a lot of women during the week and I myself struggle with this. So I know that we can all use one more tool on that toolbox. And so today we are going to be talking about self-judgment. Now, what I mean by this is, like, what are the things that we are telling ourselves about ourselves? How are we judging ourselves? So we're going to be kind of talking about that today. So here's the thing, in the comments right now, I want to kind of get a sense of where you are today in that spectrum, right? So let's use a scale from 1 to 5. 1 is you are the kindest person to yourself, and 5, you are your worst critic, okay? So 1 through 5, give me, where do you fall in that scale of self-judgment, okay? 1, again, you are your biggest fan, and 5 being you are your worst critic. You really judge yourself pretty hard. So I'm going to give you guys a second here to answer that question. I really want to get a sense of where you are in the spectrum, because we all have our own kind of sort of default, right? Where are we on that scale of criticizing ourselves and judging ourselves? So 2 or 3, I'm seeing that. Great. I would probably say I'm about a 2. Yeah, I think that 2.5. Yeah. So again, all of us struggle, right, in some way with being kind to ourselves. So I'm going to dive in today, and really what I've been noticing this week, I've been seeing a theme, okay, of how 3, perfect. Okay, so we're kind of all kind of in that middle ground, right? Some of us, if we're being honest, some days we're probably a little bit higher, right? If something gets triggered, we tend to go a little bit harsher on ourselves. And I know that's something that a lot of us struggle with. So here's the thing. One of the things that I'm noticing this week is that it is starting to set in that this is our new normal, right? Like, wow, this is not going away anytime soon. And some of those emotions are starting to kind of take root. And here's the thing, here's the interesting part of it that I was kind of becoming aware. If you had, right, if you were already a 2 or 3 before this crisis happened, right, chances are that when we have a default setting of already judging ourselves hard, when a crisis hits, those things are magnified. So let me explain. If you were already suffering with depression, if you were already suffering from anxiety, if you already suffered from some anger management, maybe you were overeating, or maybe you were suffering with lack of motivation, whatever that default is for you, okay? In times of crisis, most people go to their default, Okay, it is like human nature because we're already overwhelmed, right, with our default, and then you put a crisis on top of that, and that really, sometimes spins you the wrong direction. So here's the thing, the first thing I want to say to you guys, we're not supposed to know how to handle this. Okay, this is new for everyone. And this is probably one of the first times in our life, right, that we're literally in this together. We are all in this together, trying to learn, right? And if you were struggling with having some healthy habits before this crisis, okay, implementing them now can, obviously we have some people that can, and then we have some people that are really struggling. And if you're struggling with that, this is for you today. So here's what I wanted to share with you about that. The first thing is we're not supposed to know how to handle this, right? And so the other day I was talking to one of my clients, and she said, I'm just a lazy, horrible person. And that really just, it hits me. When somebody sees themselves in that light, and what we started talking about is that she started talking about all these people that were going on walks and all these people that were taking on projects and were painting with their kids and were doing projects in their closets, right? And part of it is that we've sort of said to ourselves that if we had more time, we would be better, right? If I had more time, I would work out. If I had more time, I would finish that class. If I had more time, I would spend more time with our kids. And here it is. We are like, time is one thing that we are given, okay? And a lot of us, guess what? We don't want to finish that painting class. We don't want to go for a walk, right? And so a lot of it right now, what's happening is that it's the rising of that self-judgment, because guess what? Like, your excuses or your reasons are kind of swiped away, and yet you're still not doing it. And there's a default, okay? It's a default setting for you to start to tell yourself that you're a lazy, horrible person. Now, maybe for you, it might not be those strong words, but if you are waking up in the morning or going to bed at night and that tape in your head is of all the things that you failed at, right? Then we're definitely being harsh judges. We're being very harsh judges. Okay, so here's the thing. Give me a thumbs up if you found yourself saying negative things about yourself. Let me just kind of get a sense of the room. We've had a lot of other people join. Good to see you guys. We're talking about self-judgment today in the tip of the week. So give me a thumbs up if you have at any point struggled, or especially during this quarantine time, have struggled with maybe some negative thoughts about what you should be doing but aren't doing. Great. I'm getting some thumbs up. Yes, right? And here's the thing. A lot of times we start to, I'll tell you a personal story, okay? So I was feeling a little bit bad, okay? Because I started seeing all these, like on Facebook and Instagram, all these pictures of families playing board games and just all these board games, okay? And great family time, and they were laughing, and they were like, oh, we're doing it every night. And we're not doing that. We are not, that's just not our jam, okay? And I started to think to myself, like, man, I guess, like, why aren't we doing it? Like, I guess maybe I should go buy a board game. I mean, we don't even do it that I don't even have board games. So it's not like I don't have them. And so I was like, maybe I should order some. Oh my gosh, like, we're such a bad family. We're not close. And all that dialogue started coming out. Like, I'm such a bad mom because I'm not encouraging it. I don't even want to play a board game. And then I remembered, right? Like, Diana, stay in your lane, right? So that's the tip number 2 here, okay? Stay in your lane, guys, okay? This crisis, this pandemic, you're not supposed to come out of this a different person, okay? yes, we want to improve and we want to maybe take advantage of this time if you feel that that's what is tugging at you right now. But we're not supposed to change who we are. And the truth is that I don't really enjoy board games. And my family has really never been into board games. Is there something wrong with us? No, we just connect in a different way. So when we stay in our lane, we need to really ask ourselves, like, what works for me? What do I need? What does my family need? And we need to stop really comparing, right, to other people, what other people are doing with their time during this quarantine. And here's the thing, more than likely, we are not comparing ourselves to people that we perceive as worse, right? We're not comparing ourselves and say, oh, we're so good. No, we usually compare to people or families that we perceive as better. That's a lose-lose. That's a lose-lose. You're already thinking they're better, and then you're comparing yourself to them. So tell me, have you ever done that where you felt like you were comparing yourself to somebody else's highlight reel? Give me a yes in the comments or a thumbs up. If you've ever found yourself, excuse me, that water, comparing yourself to someone else's highlight reel. I want to know, am I alone on this? But I was seeing a lot of people just, living their best life. And I thought, oh my gosh, like that's not us. So again, number 2 is just stay in your lane, guys. We're not supposed to be different people when we get out of this. Maybe a slightly better, maybe more rested, maybe, extra pounds, I don't know, but we're not supposed to be completely different, okay? So show yourself some compassion. So this brings me to, yes, yeah, I'm getting some yeses now, about that we've all compared ourselves to other people, right? Lastly, the third thing, it kind of comes, from that comparison, and that is that we really need to shift, right? We need to make that mental shift going from judgment to compassion. Okay, so instead of asking the question like, what am I doing wrong, right? What am I doing right? How am I being good to myself? What can I do to be good to myself? And here's the thing, that's a hard transition, because again, it is in our face all over the place that we should be doing. And I'll be honest with you, I encourage you to do things. I know I'm one of those people that is saying kind of choose joy and be happy and all that. But I wanted to use this time today to really say that all those things are great if it's a good fit for you. Okay? That's the important part. Does it make sense for you to take that action? Okay? I don't live your life, right? I just want to pour into it, encourage it. And all these people that you're seeing, they're not living your life either. You are living your life. And so you want to make sure that you are facing this crisis with what you need. What do you need during this time so that you can just embrace it versus continually feeling like you're failing every day? Okay? Because self-judgment, it's only making things worse. If you go to bed, if you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I should work out, I should do this, I should clean out the closet, I should play that board game with my kids. The word should give you like that little red flag. Is this making sense to you guys? Does that seems like it makes sense? If we feel obligated to do it, that might not be coming from a place of compassion, because if we fail or we don't do it, guess what? We feel shame and we feel guilt. And then guess what? The next morning, the cycle continues every day. So I want you to really what I really want you to take this from, what I want you to take from this is that I really want you to try to look at things from a place of compassion versus judgment. And oh my gosh, you guys are so sweet coming in here. Thank you. We're talking about self-judgment today, a conversation that I've seen a lot of us struggle with during this week, and just how are we supposed to react to this pandemic, right? So as we move into compassion, here's what I told my client, and we were able to kind of work on some things, on some mental shifts for her to feel better instead of her feeling like she's a lazy, horrible person. Like, that's just painful for me to even say it again. But one of the things that I asked her, and I'm going to give you this strategy here, is that I asked her, what would you tell a friend? If a friend called you and said to you, man, I'm having a hard time during this quarantine, and I'm just like binging on Tiger King, and I feel so bad about it. What would you tell a friend? Would you tell her you're a horrible, lazy person? Or would you say like, girl, relax, enjoy it. Grab yourself your chocolate or your wine. Be good to yourself. You're doing a lot. You would praise her, and then you would go on to cheer her on. Right? That's what we do for our girlfriends. Give me a hearts up if you've ever supported your friend and been so loving and compassionate towards her. Yes, right? We show love to our friends in a split second. We don't even care what they're doing, if they're doing it wrong or right? We are very compassionate. So guess what that tells me? If you're saying yes, that you have been compassionate to a friend, which I'm seeing a lot of hearts and a lot of thumbs up, that tells me that you have the ability for compassion. You know how to be compassionate. So guess what? If you already know how to be compassionate, then you can be compassionate towards you. It's like, you know how to drive a sedan. Guess what? You probably know how to drive a truck. It's the same thing. You just need to turn your attention inward and really allow yourself to just be. Just be, ladies. Let's just be during this time. You know what? I'm not going to order any board games because we're not going to play them. I am not going to play a board game. I've embraced it, and I am just not a board game kind of girl, okay? But so I want to let you know as I wrap up here, and if you have any questions before I get off here, please let me know here. But here's what I want you to do is, what you need is catching up on Netflix, then do that. If you need to go outside and walk more, which I actually have noticed that I want to be outside more, then do that. If you want to play with your kids more, do it. If you don't. Like, this is the time where I just want you to know that we're not supposed to know how to do this. We're not supposed to come out of here as this place a completely different person. Yes, maybe you do have the opportunity or the tug to improve on yourself, but you can also choose to do nothing, and that's still okay, and you're still a good person, and you're still a good mom, and you're still a good human being. Okay, so that's my talk about today. Thank you guys for tuning in today. You guys make my day so good when you tune in. If you know a friend that is always talking bad about herself, please share this with him. My mission, like I always tell you guys, my mission is to really empower every woman out there to love themselves, because that's where the magic happens. When we love ourselves, the world opens up. Yes, Viviana, go back and watch it from the beginning. I think this is a conversation that all of us need to listen to. All of us at any age, we need to really listen, that it is not about judging ourselves. That is not helpful. That doesn't help us at all. So again, share this with your friends. Help me by liking the post. That helps my algorithm. Facebook shows it to more people. And again, I'll see you guys next Friday for the next week, the next tip of the week. You guys take care. Bye-bye.